is such a fun time of the year, and in this video I want to show you some quick tips on using our Halloween accessory set that will hopefully inspire you in your own scrapbooking. In the Halloween accessory set, you do get 4 different designs like you see here. You get a ghost, 2 pumpkins, and a web. And you can see a lot of fun ideas in our idea books and on our website of different ways that we've used this accessory set on our layouts. In this video, I want to show you some fun tips using the Halloween accessory set, but also using our rings accessory set to create something like this on your layout, to just kind of change it up from time to time. What's fun about this is that you can intertwine maybe a border, or like you see here, I use the chevrons fun border, and you can intertwine it in between the layers here. Also on this layout, you can see that I did it here at the top, and I use these spots as a place to add some stickers for my journaling. So I put Halloween on this one and then the year on this one. Also in this video, I'm going to show you a fun way to use the web similar to what you see on this layout, where I just traced it onto my actual paper instead of cutting it out. Okay, so to start with, you're just going to grab a scrap of paper, and like I said, you're going to use the rings accessory set along with the Halloween. And the rings accessory set does come in multiple sizes, so you can even have fun maybe trying one of the smaller rings with even one of the tiny versions of a pumpkin or whatever design that you'd like, which in this case we have our tiny pumpkin in the tiny holiday set. And so you can see that that would be really cute using the tiny holiday version with the smaller rings. Okay, so for this one, I went ahead and I'm going to use rings number 3 and Halloween number 3. Now to start off with, I'm just going to trace around my ring set. And you're just going to trace the outside of your rings. We're not going to actually make it into a rings, we're going to use it as a circle. Then you're going to place your other design in the middle of your circle, and we're just going to center it inside of that circle, and then you're just simply going to trace around this design as well. Once you have it traced out, we're going to simply cut it out. And first we're going to start with cutting our circle completely out. We're not going to use this as a ring. We're going to go ahead and keep it as a full circle. And then I'll show you exactly how we cut that pumpkin out of the center. So to start with, we're just going to cut around that. And we always recommend doing quick shortcuts. And the last step I'll do is definitely ink that, which will help with any blemishes or imperfections, or any pencil that might be showing as well. Okay, now that I have that cut out, I'm going to go ahead and place that to the side. And I'm going to grab an X-Acto knife. And then I have this little cardboard, so you can do a cutting mat or a cardboard or whatever you have handy. I have this cardboard handy, so that's what we're going to be using. Now to start with, we're going to go ahead and start our cut. So I like to use an X-Acto knife to do this. If you're really comfortable with an X-Acto knife, you can definitely continue cutting around the whole thing. As you can tell, I'm not as comfortable. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it started like that. And then I'm going to take my scissors and go ahead and finish that cut. Once you finish cutting the pumpkin out of the center of your circle, we're just simply going to ink those edges. On the inside, again, covering any of those pencil marks that we have, and then along the outside as well, so that you can add it to your page. Now, you can also take the pumpkin and maybe stick it on the inside. Here, I actually used that tiny pumpkin from the tiny holiday set that I was showing you before, and I just traced it out of a pattern paper and then placed it in the side there. Or another way to use the inside is just to go ahead and maybe tuck it in to maybe a border or something, and just have it layered with the other design that you just created using the rings. That could be cute as well. To give you an idea of how great inking is, I went ahead and inked the top of this design here, and you can see that it really helps give everything a nice finished look and allows it to pop out. But also you'll notice that it helps cover any blemishes or imperfections that you have. So we really highly recommend just taking a couple minutes and inking those different elements that you cut out. So for example, you'll see down here, I have a couple pencil marks. And I'm just simply going to take my dauber and ink right over that. And it's going to hide all of those pencil marks that you might have. And then once, of course, you lay it down on your page, you really can't see those imperfections as well. Now this tip is very simple to accomplish. So instead of using the designer templates to trace and cut them out of your paper, you can also use them to trace on top of your paper. So in this case, I used the web from Halloween Accessory set, and I just traced them onto the corner of my paper like you see here. And what I did is I just placed the designer template on top of my paper and kind of adjusted it to see what kind of design I liked. So in this case, I just used this portion of the designer template. And I recommend using a pencil or maybe even a colored pencil if you're working on top of black, so like a white colored pencil, so that if you needed to, you can erase. And then once I had it all traced out, you can use a pen or maybe even some stickles or whatever you want to kind of allow that to pop a little bit more. Okay, so as you can see here, I started with just that portion of the designer template. I traced it out. Then I went ahead and pulled it back, and in this case I just kept it like it is, like you see here, traced again, and then I pulled it back, and then I'm just going to adjust it a little by altering the designer template a little bit, twisting it a little. So on this case I just twisted it a little to the left, and then I just did that design there, and then I pulled it back, and then I went ahead and twisted it again until I found that design that works with the other layers that I already traced onto my paper. I hope these ideas have inspired you. Another fun idea that I had while I was making this scrapbook layout is how cute would it be to make a banner out of the same technique. So for example, you could go ahead and trace them out of maybe a pattern paper or scraps of paper that you have, similar to the one that you see here, and I would go ahead and cut a couple of them out. And then just take some ribbon and thread it through each one and make a super cute banner to have maybe for a party that you're having or just as simple decoration around your home during this holiday season. If you have any questions, please make sure to talk to your Kiwi Lane instructor, and for more inspiration you can visit us online at kiwilane.com. Thanks for watching.